Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about astrology and renowned football NFL head coach Bill Belichick leaving the Patriots. It's my understanding there has been some mutual agreement between Bill Belichick and the ownership with the Patriots that it was time for him to cut ties with them. Want to state that, hey, Bill Belichick is, I believe, unequivocally, the greatest coach in NFL history. He accomplished a lot during his tenure. I think what happens though, in today's sports world in general, it's like a "what have you done for me lately" philosophy, and that may have factored into his departure. And I think they let Bill Belichick go out with him with some dignity. Um, by making this more of a mutual understanding. I think, I look at, what he's done, and it's just, pretty much unprecedented. I do think he's going to, even from, a non-astrological vantage point, I see Bill Belichick coming back, to being, be a coach again, because he's like, I don't remember the exact number, but I think it's like around 15, 17, career wins shy of Don Shula's all-time NFL record, 4 wins as a head coach. So there would be incentive for Bill Belichick to come back. And I'm going to talk about, some, natal placements and transits that may have been tied in with his departure. Now, the thing that I noticed, in general, as far as there's one transit that stands out to me, and I think it's had some impact on other people's, people in the coaching ranks as well. Is this Pluto at 29 degrees Capricorn that we're currently experiencing? I mean, we figure, 29 degrees, can reflect an ending of something. You're talking about Pluto, which is connected with obliteration, and also power. Capricorn is authority. This is where we're seeing a lot of people right now, prominent people, in the coaching, in the NFL, where they're ending their careers, where a position of power and authority is coming to an end. Um, and Bill Belichick has left. I think Pete Carroll, I don't know what's actually happened with him with the Seahawks. I think he may be gone, but you may want to confer that on the internet. Mike Vrabel, the head coach of the Tennessee Titans, he was terminated, and he may likely be the successor over with the New England Patriots, I believe. Now, Bill Belichick, he has, based on, it's a C rating, so it's really like a mediocre rating, I would say, for his chart on Astro.com. Puts his ascendant at Virgo. He has, that would put right now the transit of Pluto in Capricorn at that 29th degree would be in his 5th house of sports and enjoyment. What's interesting, this was the ending. Pluto can be about, figurative deaths, about obliteration and ending, the ending of that career associated with sports. But at least with the Patriots, anyway, I do believe he will be coming back, though. Another transit, and another thing too, this falls right near the time of that, I believe it was a supermoon in Capricorn, if I'm not mistaken. Um, this was a time where you had that new moon in Capricorn, and at this time, that falls on Bill Belichick's lunar return as well, where significant things could happen, and I would think with the public as well, because the moon is connected with the public. Also, too, at this time, it's interesting because the transit sun was in very close proximity to his moon based on the time used on Astro.com, which gives the Virgo ascendant. Uh, transit sun would be very close to his moon, and that's really kind of like, it almost seems like, reflective when the sun is passing the natal moon, like a life a certain kind of life could be passing by that was public related, because the moon is connected with the public. It's also a focus too, on just I would say on the emotional nature of him as well at this time, very intensified. He seemed like he was at some press conference, and it looked like he was trying to hold back some tears. He seemed like he was very despondent, which would be natural given the situation. But Moon in Capricorn can be, that could be, placement where the feelings may often be sad, and the person may feel melancholy and despondent. But this was more intensified because of this moment, naturally. And another thing, a transit to take note of too, for Bill Belichick is actually the South Node, transit South Node right now in Libra, very close proximity, conjunction to his natal Neptune in Libra in the second house of income. And what's interesting is that, you know, as many of you may know, the South Node can be about what we're going away from. And when transit South Node um, is conjoining Neptune, that could be going away from a dream. This was a life where this was something that many people may have fantasized about, a situation that involved, a lot of teamwork. Libra, the seventh house in astrology is connected with competition. So I would think Libra may have some competition with that. Neptune in Libra, a dream that may be associated with that. In the South Node, transit South Node hitting, going away from that's something in which he collaborated with others, to do a common task. Libra is about, collaboration with other people, and something which he had to have certain cooperation. I don't know if he was involved in a partnership with the Patriots in any way, shape, or form, but it wouldn't surprise me, considering where it is that transit of the South Node hitting his natal Neptune, and it's very close to that point. So I think it's too much to just say blame it on happenstance or a coincidence. So anyway, and the thing about this is he also has at this time transit Neptune. It's been in his seventh house for a little bit, and that could indicate, the dissolving or dissipation of something that involved competition. Being in Pisces, something that, one may only dream and really, again, really fantasize about. And this is just, and also too, transit Saturn being in the sixth house. This is where, this may have been a time for Bill Belichick where he had to, maybe work a little bit harder than he had to, because he didn't have necessarily the talent surrounding him as he did previously when he had Tom Brady and company. And the thing I'd like to add, incorporating this, is the fact that something that's not connected with astrology is the fact that, a lot of people are, talking about, well, the main, proponents in the New England Patriots' success during Bill Belichick's tenure with them was him and Tom Brady. That may be true, but I'd also like to add, the fact that the Patriots, a lot of people are not talking about this. They had, a very good defense in a number of those championship years, that the Super Bowl seasons that the Patriots had, and that should be something that should be lauded, and certainly not forgotten about. And it's almost like there seems to be some people out there that have been pretty much oblivious to this, and that really shouldn't be the case. The defense deserves a lot of the credit. The likes of, Teddy Bruschi, as example, I think Ty Law was a defensive player, which was, solid, as well as some examples. You got to look at the defense as well that the Patriots had during, those stellar campaigns they had, with Bill Belichick as the head coach. Now, another thing, when I look at this too, going back to the, transit Pluto, is that it's in, I believe, loose square aspect to Bill Belichick's natal Sun, and that could indicate, some difficulty in the control over one's life as well. And that's something, when the sun being in Aries, life connected, with leadership, and he showed some pioneering ability. Of course, I would say as a coach, he has his Mercury in Aries. So, right there, Mercury in Aries can have be pioneering, can have very, innovative thinking. It's interesting. I'm not saying this to be negative or derogatory, but Bill Belichick has his Mercury in Aries, and what's interesting, about that is, when he's very, a little bit, you could tell that he suppresses a lot, when he's talking. He doesn't really, the kind of person that doesn't, reveal too much, about any, game plans or schemes or anything, and retrograde is about, less than it is more, and that's, I think, part of the reason why he would hold in a lot of, what his plans were, any schemes or strategy he may have against, an opposing team. And this is where, where you have that energy, the Mercury retrograde, where he was more closed-mouthed and tight-lipped about a lot of things. And the thing about this too is, when I look at, the chart of Bill Belichick having, Mars and Scorpio in its dignity, naturally that could, that placement can manifest in high attainments, being able to accomplish things, actions that, may have seemed, insurmountable to other people. He has, the Sun in Aries is also appears to be conjoining Jupiter in his chart, and that right there, the aspect by itself, can be very fortuitous for one's life, and a life that could be sport. Jupiter is sports, a life that is very connected with sports, and Sun, with the Aries energy being involved, one which was flavored with more enthusiasm and action, aggression, not wasting time doing things, with little hesitation or procrastination, um, things of that nature. So, really, I'm just trying to see if there's anything else I want to state about, this, as far as any, transits may go, with Belichick, and tied into his, great, amazing career that he had. And when I do this, I gotta be, objective, of course. He was the head coach of, of the nemesis to my New York Jets. And the Patriots may have denied the New York Jets some division titles along the way during their run, but at the same time, I laud, Bill Belichick and praise him. He's a tremendous coach. He did, so much, in terms of, as far as the success he had. And I believe he did help, develop, players' talents and make them play, to their full potential. Teddy Bruschi, who again, he was a former, New England Patriot. He's now, I believe, an NFL analyst, and he, made some kind of analogy, regarding what Bill Belichick did for the players on the team, when he said, talked about a towel, wringing a wet towel out and draining it. And what I think he was conveying is that he got the most out of the players, as, somebody would get the most water, out of a towel if they wring it hard enough. So that is what Bill Belichick did, I think, in his, the last 4 years or so, what have you, or whatever the number was. Another, NFL analyst said it very good earlier today, is that summed it up saying it really wasn't so much about, Bill Belichick's ineptitude as a coach as to why they hadn't played well in recent years. It's more attributed just the lack of the offense on the team. It wasn't that Bill Belichick couldn't scheme or he couldn't strategize anymore. It wasn't that he couldn't formulate good game plans. It was just the fact that he didn't have the offensive firepower to win the games that he could have won previously. And I think we really found out how great Tom Brady was as well. Considering what's happened with the Patriots since Tom Brady's departure. But anyway, just trying to see if there's anything else I want to get at as far as Bill Belichick and natal placements and transits go, but that appears to be it for this. And I do believe Bill Belichick will be coaching again, because I think that could be trying to get that coaching record for all-time career wins as an NFL head coach can be very alluring and enticing. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.